So, bro, today I'm going to describe my morning routine to you. Um, this is pretty much the result of it's quite a lot of things. I'll give you like the step by step and then why I do each thing. But first, I'll give you I'll give you a little bit of backstory on it. So, about 5 years ago, even I started waking up at 6 a.m. in the morning. And even back then, when I was in this is when I was in the eighth grade of my second year of junior high school. Um, there wasn't much reason besides the fact that I didn't have a purpose yet, but I just felt better in the morning because I had this sense of like being prepared for the day. And there's some research out there that's like your brain can take up to 2 minutes to fully wake up in the morning, but um, yeah, I would wake up at 6 a.m. and fast forward about 2 years, I would wake up and start doing some sort of work, or what was work for me for the past 3 years was soccer when I was playing at the Barcelona Residential Academy in Arizona. And what I did there for about 3 years, I added on like a morning workout into my routine. So I would wake up 6 a.m., go outside, and it was so nice. I'll put like a link or something in the description of where this place is, but basically it's a 8 field soccer complex next to a hotel and dorm rooms where they would have us the student athletes, and then they have a high school on campus too. So you never really walk more than a minute to get to places, which is so nice. I kind of miss that coming to college now. It's like 5 to 10, 15 minutes sometimes walking everywhere. But when I was there, I added workouts into my morning routine. So I would wake up at 6, and around 6:15 I would go outside and train for 30 minutes every single day. And I noticed that doing that as well as team workouts and team practices, I got a lot better, a lot faster than a lot of my peers. I wouldn't say I was nearly as talented as a lot of them, but I definitely worked hard and earned the eventual practices I got with the top team in the academy, the U19 MLS team. I feel like I really earned those, but this is a morning routine video. Let's go. Let's get back to that. So I was really still big into video games at the time. I also played like 5, 6 hours of video games every day. Somehow still got valedictorian. But I did study and worked really hard. But morning routine, morning routine. So visualize it. It's my first year of college. I am a student athlete here with 4 classes and 3 labs. A really packed schedule. 2 months of training 3 times a week plus 2 to 3 games. It was a lot to handle. Like college, you always hear about college being bad enough as it is, just being a student, much less having like a social life and being a student athlete. But it made me look a little bit more into what optimizations can I do towards taking the time that I do have throughout the day, making it work for me. And something I really looked into heavily was my morning routine, which was I would wake up at 6 a.m., I would work for an hour and a half, do my morning stuff, read my Bible, a little Duolingo lesson. Got a long streak there. And then I would just go to breakfast and go to my classes. But I've gotten even more into it since the past 2 or 3 weeks, where I've actually started waking up at 5 a.m. in the morning and like started to institute even more stuff into my morning routine. So now I go to bed about 8 or 9 p.m. at night, and now I wake up at 5 a.m. Wow. I cannot believe I can say that now. I am the type of person who wakes up at 5 a.m. There's a really great book out there, Atomic Habits, and one of the biggest mindset changes it has in it, Atomic Habits by James Clear, if you haven't read it, like a 13-hour audio book, maybe 200-page book. Um, Sorry, I'm a little sick. I still have a little something in my throat, but yeah, Atomic Habits, James Clear. One of the big things in there is changing your identity. So the fact that I can even say I am it's about saying I am rather than like I should do something, not I should wake up at 5 a.m., but shifting your identity to matching your identity with the habits rather than the habits trying to like match or change your identity. Because if your identity is playing video games and eating junk food all day, how's your habits going to match that? I mean, if you want to start waking up at 5 a.m., I guess if you play video games, that can match. But if you want to start working out for an hour a day, does that fit the identity of someone who plays video games 10 hours a day? No, not really. So I am the type of person who wakes up at 5 a.m. And that scares some people. For some people, that brings up thoughts of, well, for many people, I'm sure that brings up thoughts of being tired at 5 a.m. I hope it scares my competitors saying that I wake up at 5 a.m. or even inspires some of them. Competition breeds success. So if more of us can start waking up at 5 a.m., I think even more of us can get better. But yeah, I am the type of person who wakes up at 5 a.m. I'd say that works really well for me because in the first semester of college, I would stay up till 12 almost every night doing work, and I'd still wake up at 6, which sounds awful. I got 6 hours of sleep every night for 2 months. That's probably why the hair is going the way it is, but it's coming back now. Not coming back. Not coming back, but looks a little better in my opinion for sure, especially the beard for sure. Sorry, a little. I don't watch TikTok anymore, but I've seen my little brother and his friends do that, so I thought that was kind of funny. But yeah, I think it works for me because I would get 6 hours of sleep a night, and even when I would get 8 hours of sleep, staying up till midnight, going to bed, and then getting up at like 8 a.m., I feel like I'm missing some of my day because having woken up at 6 a.m. for the past 4 or 5 years of my life, it feels weird waking up later than that. Like I'm missing out on something. Like I'm missing out on work, not just work, but on life. I'm missing out on life. And some people would say, Nick, you go to bed at 9 p.m. You are missing out on life. And I mean that's a topic for another video, but I would kind of argue against that philosophy. But I think you are kind of missing out on life if you don't wake up in the morning, because I feel like that's really quiet, like solitude time. Waking up being the type of person who wakes up at 5 a.m. I think whatever works for you, that's what you should do, whether it's staying up late, waking up late, or going to bed early, waking up early. I'm just giving what works best for me. This is not like you should wake up at 5 a.m., but there's a lot of successful entrepreneurs that stay up late and wake up relatively late. But I'd say even they don't sleep past like 8 a.m. probably. Wow, stay up, wake up late, 8. Maybe I should just quit YouTube and be a rapper. No, that's besides the point. Second thing I do in the morning is a concept by Hamza Ahmed here on YouTube. Big like masculinity YouTuber. He recently won the school games, actually, if you know what that is. It was a competition by Alex Hormozi, who's like a really, really big entrepreneur in the space on YouTube right now. Really popping off there. Props to him. I've been watching him for a while, getting business tips from me and just work ethic tips. I think he's a great guy. Both of them, Hamza and Alex Hormozi. They've been great for my journey, but back to my journey. So his concept, eat the frog. So if you have a frog in front of you and you have like a really nice 5-star Michelin star steak dinner, do you eat the frog before you eat the dinner, or dinner first and frog after? Just pause the video and think about it for a second. Okay, so the reasoning, so what answer you should is you should eat it first, right? Now the reasoning behind that is if you eat the frog first, you get to look forward to this amazing meal afterwards. But if you eat this meal, it's essentially ruined, right? Because you have to eat this frog, right? You have to eat the frog. Frog not gonna eat itself, like well, it might, but no, that's like atypical of frogs. But so it's all about doing the hardest thing. For me, that's usually chemistry homework and studying. But for you, it might be, like you really don't like working out, so going and hitting a workout, or maybe you have to prepare for a business meeting the day that you really don't want to, but you should anyway. That's just a few examples. But I think it really helps. Waking up at 5 a.m. in general, I feel like I get so much more done before anyone else is awake. And whoa. Okay. But I eat the frog about 30-40 minutes before I even do like my morning routine, like over here. Before I even do my morning routine, I get up and I do work. And then after about 30-40 minutes of deep work, I will start my morning routine, which consists of a cold shower. I've already got like my shower sandals and towels out for tomorrow. After tomorrow's morning shower, actually, I go to bed in like 3 hours. I'm going to go hit a workout here soon after some physical therapy for my broken foot, and eat some dinner, probably do some homework, and then go to bed shortly after that. But I will start my morning routine with a cold shower. Sometimes I'm in there for 20 seconds, and sometimes I'm in there for several minutes. But it's all about making it as cold as possible. Obviously, I'm in a college dorm. I can't really control how cold the water is, but living in Minnesota, the water's fairly cold. Like, really freaking cold most mornings. But some mornings it's like warm, which is weird. But try to do an ice shower or a cold shower as often as I can, once a day. And well, I actually do it twice a day, but that's after the workout. I really haven't taken a warm shower in about 3 weeks. I haven't taken a warm shower. I think my face has definitely improved because of that. But yeah, so I do the cold shower, and I come back and I meditate. And I don't meditate for a specific amount of time. I just meditate until I feel like doing work again. And then meanwhile, I have coffee brewing while I'm meditating. This is around 6:40-ish. I'll get to this, or 5:40, sorry. 5:40, I'll have my coffee whilst I'm making my bed. And that's another just like, I mean, there's so much out there about making your bed is just like one of the biggest productivity hacks ever. I don't even know if I'd call it a hack, but just getting something done early in the day. So I like to put that. And then immediately after that, which is the fourth part of my morning routine, I will gratitude journal. And so I don't know where my notebook is now, but in my journal, I put a date, gratitude, and then 1, 2, 3 the night before. That way I already have it flipped open, and then whenever I get around to 5:40, 5:45-ish, I can get straight to it. I write my 3 things I'm thankful for, just like a few words, like thanks to David Goggins for writing Can't Hurt Me, maybe thanks for whatever people in China made this cup. The locksmith that made my dorm room key. I don't know if I can show that. I don't know how you copy keys or whatever, but After I'm done with that, I have my coffee and I have my big water bottle actually. I drink about 3 of these per day, which is sounds crazy to say out loud, but I think it keeps me hydrated. I drink one of those and coffee whilst I'm doing my work. This is from about 6 a.m. now. So when I used to wake up, I've already done my morning routine in 30 minutes of deep work. I am the type of person that wakes up at 5 a.m. So to get on to the rest of the morning routine isn't that very eventful. It is just deep work till 8. Well, no, I shouldn't lie. Deep work till 7:40. And that yeah, I do about an hour and a half of deep work from 6 to 7:30, 7:40ish. And then that brings me to the last part of my morning routine before the end, which is reading my Bible every day and doing a Duolingo lesson and journaling about what I read in the Bible. So my faith is a really big part of what I believe in. I'm traditionally Southern Baptist, raised in West Central Louisiana. I would say I'm fairly conservative. I am Christian. I do believe in God and Jesus, the Old Testament and New Testament. Um, Jesus has the power to save. So if you're not saved, I heavily encourage you to embrace God. He's reaching out to you in ways you may not even comprehend or understand yet, whether it's a hardship that he's giving you or maybe he's giving you a raise at your job. You got to thank him always. And that's another part of my gratitude journaling. I think gratitude journaling just makes you a grateful person in general, but so does being a Christian, in my opinion. I mean, I think all you need to be saved and go to heaven is to acknowledge that Jesus is God and his existence and believe in that. But another big part of just being a Christian is always asking for forgiveness. So me and my brother have talked about this before. But if you are a Christian and you believe in God, you should have no qualms or quarries of repenting and asking forgiveness for your sins. Only God can save. Only he can forgive you of your sins. I mean, yes, you might be Buddhist and Catholic, but I think Christianity is really the only way. And I mean, that might not really resonate. And I don't want us to sound like I'm not doing this out of a dislike for other religions. I actually really enjoy learning about different religions, but I mean, this is something I feel very strongly about. I think Jesus is the only way. And that's why I always put him into my morning routine by reading the Bible and journaling about what I wrote. Like right now I'm reading 2 Kings, and many of them, even Solomon himself, but following Solomon, they are favorable in God's eyes. They have success. They do glory for God, and then they turn into sin. Oftentimes it's because of a woman. A woman tempted David to commit adultery. Solomon 700 wives and 300 concubines brought him. I mean, God warned him, and they took him over to their gods. And it's about 10 kings after Solomon, but it's just this repeating cycle of favoring God's eyes. God grants you whatever you pray about. Man sins. The sin of man penetrates their heart, and then ultimately God kills him. And he's very forgiving, but he's also wrathful. He'll give you every opportunity and chance to make up for your sin, but it's up to you to take those chances. This was a morning routine video, and here we are. I hope you all have a great night. Like the video and subscribe. Mwah.